Hey guys, how's it going? Matthew Kadish here, author of the Earthman Jack Space Saga and editor-in-chief over at dailygeekery.com. And today we got a great trailer for the sequel to everyone's favorite patriotic 1980s movie Top Gun, entitled Top Gun Maverick. And we're going to sit here and watch it and talk about it a little bit afterwards. So let's take a look at this sucker. Nice little desert landscape.
30 plus years of service.
Like the vista there.
Combat medals, citations. Only man to shoot down 3 enemy planes in the last 40 years.
Definitely hearing about Maverick's pedigree here.
Yet you can't get a promotion, you won't retire. Despite your best efforts, you refuse to die.
I'm liking this already. I gotta be honest.
You should be at least a 2-star admiral by now.
But of course he's not.
Yet here you are.
Because he's Maverick.
Captain. Why is that?
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
I see they got rid of the unibrow for the sequel. That's always good. Seriously, if you watch the original Top Gun, once you see the unibrow, you can't unsee it. Oh yeah, that theme, man. Gets ya. Aviator glasses, the bike. Oh, it looks so good. Everything just comes together. Got John Hamm there, Jennifer Connelly. Love those shots. Looks so cool. What Tony Scott wouldn't have given for today's technology to be able to get those shots like that. And he goes inverted.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir.
But not yet.
But not today.
Not today. Very Maverick response. There you go. All right, so that was the trailer for Top Gun Maverick. Sorry for talking over it, but I'm going to assume that you guys have seen it by now and are tuning in for my expert commentary. So basically, let's break this thing down a little bit. Just so you know, this movie has been in development for close to a decade now. It was first announced going into development by Paramount back in 2010. And so it's been like 9 years in the making. And this was back when the original director of Top Gun, Tony Scott, was actually still alive. And he was involved in the development of it. And then he tragically committed suicide. And that kind of threw things for a loop. It kind of lingered in development hell for a while. But now it's finally coming out. And this trailer was just released at the San Diego Comic-Con here in 2019. This movie, it's got a laundry list of writers attached to it, and I want to kind of go through these guys. So the first writer that I think is probably the most responsible for this script right now his name's Peter Craig. He wrote the Ben Affleck movie The Town, and he was also the writer on Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, which were the last 2 films in the Hunger Games saga. There's a little bit of a worrisome credit here with the second co-writer. His name's Justin Marks, and he wrote the remake of The Jungle Book, and he also is the writer of the Starz original series Counterpart. So if you guys have seen that series, you'll kind of get a sense of this guy's talent. But he is also credited with having written Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, which is probably one of the worst movies ever made. So if you guys have seen that, you'll know that that's not exactly something that this guy should be proud of, and he's a co-writer on this. So I think him and Peter Craig were probably the 2 main writers. There are a couple other writers listed. The biggest of which is Christopher McQuarrie, who, if you guys don't know, he's collaborated with Tom Cruise on a lot of movies, particularly the Mission Impossible films. The last 2 ones were both written and directed by him. Or at least written by him. I know for a fact that he directed the last one that they did. But he's a very talented writer. He's a very talented director. But he was originally approached to write the script back in 2010. And it's unknown what level of involvement he actually had in writing Top Gun Maverick. So this might just be a holdover credit from way back then, because originally I think his concept was to have Maverick be a much smaller role than he ended up being. And he probably kind of went off the project after it got thrown into development hell, and now he might have come in and punched up the script a bit, but because he does have a relationship with Tom Cruise, but who knows at this point. My guess is he's probably just credited on there because he did like a draft on the script, and Writers Guild rules require his name to be credited to the screenplay. So I guess we'll see. But the director of this film is named Joseph Kosinski. And this is a guy, he's previously worked with Tom Cruise on a film called Oblivion, which was a fairly boring science fiction film, but, it looked good at least. He was also the director of Tron Legacy, which is the sequel to the original Tron movie. And that was another kind of boring disappointment. So, he's only done, I think, 3 films. I've only seen 2 of them. And I haven't really been impressed by either, but, who knows, with the right script, this guy could probably pull it off. And from what I saw in the trailer, it, looks very good. He's kind of mimicking Tony Scott's style a little bit. Not quite as colorful as Tony Scott's visual palette, but, still, he seems to be paying homage pretty nicely based off of what I saw in the trailer. You might also be interested to know that Joseph Kosinski was responsible for the award-winning Mad World commercial for the video game Gears of War. He kind of started off in like his effects commercial background and eventually moved on to big budget feature films. So he's the one who is kind of shepherding this movie. And for those of you who want to know what the movie's about, basically it's a direct sequel to Top Gun. It takes place 34 years after the original film. The character of Maverick, played by Tom Cruise, he's a new flight instructor of the Top Gun school, and he's actually guiding Goose's son to become a pilot, and that son is played by Miles Teller. And you kind of saw a little bit of him in the trailer if you were looking really closely. It was a silhouette of him kind of like flipping the football around. Miles Teller plays Goose's son, so it's kind of like, Tom Cruise's character is taking his best friend's kid and mentoring him a little bit to become a pilot. Another interesting fact is that Val Kilmer is coming back to reprise his original role as Thomas Iceman Kazansky, who is now a vice admiral. And this should be kind of interesting because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Val Kilmer had, I believe, tongue cancer. And the treatments for that really messed him up. So he's not quite the actor that he used to be. He can't actually speak very well anymore. I don't know when he shot his scenes or, how he's going to be portrayed in the film. I just know that the last movie I saw him in, which was The Snowman, they actually had to overdub his voice because apparently his speech was so slurred that you couldn't understand it when they were originally recording it. And he looks like he's been through some stuff too. So it'll be interesting to see the role that he plays in this movie. And another interesting casting choice to note is that of Jennifer Connelly, who, I got to hand it to her. She looks great for her age. She's going to be playing Cruise's love interest. You saw her very briefly in the trailer as well. And she plays a single mother who runs a bar near the naval base. And I guess like she'll be taking the Kelly McGillis role, or McGinnis. I'm sorry, I forget how to pronounce her name. But she obviously is not coming back for this one. And it'd be interesting to know if Meg Ryan kind of comes back as a cameo for, Goose's widow. But I haven't heard anything about that, and I didn't see it on IMDb, so I'm guessing that Meg Ryan's going to sit this one out. The release date for the sequel to Top Gun is June 26, 2020. So it's going to be coming out next summer. And I got to tell you guys, based off this trailer alone, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at the theater. going to have my leather jacket, my aviator sunglasses. I'm going to drive down there and feel the need for speed. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments section. Subscribe to my channel. Check me out at dailygeekery.com, and also check out my books at kadishbooks.com. That's KADISH books.com. And I will catch you guys next time. See you later.